Hello, hello, hello. We are so back. I'm kind of tired, even though it's the weekend. But yeah, I've gotta get busy in this hour, so we're gonna speed through the submissions we do have. If anyone comes in, we'll do some more submissions. But I get a hard out by like 8:50, so let's get to it. Okay, is this what I want? Early work in progress on the dropper now. I don't know about the B part, like the foghorn, but I don't know about the laser bass sound in the second half. Okay. Okay, let's take a listen. Oh, literally like. Yo, what's up, guys? Mr. ASP in the chat. Send me something. Oh, okay, there we go. Now we're getting the submissions in. I was a little worried there for a second. Okay, cool. Kanki, you gotta resend me yours because it didn't come through. Yeklo, I would say for this, my main notes are, it does sound like an early, like, demo. I think my feeling so far is like I don't know what the main like it factor of this is, because the leads, like the A and the B part, feel a bit disconnected from each other for sure. The bass itself is not really dominant or exciting enough that it kind of glues the A and B part together for me, so they end up sounding like two like an A and a B part that could theoretically be from different songs if it weren't for the drums. To be honest, so I think with this you got to decide what the focus is. Is it going to be the drums? Is it going to be the bass? Is it going to be the lead? Because right now it's kind of neither of them. I think your drums, should definitely make them a bit punchier. They're kind of softened on the transients, and they don't quite punch through enough. So I think just a bit of extra, like transient control, transient shaping, will really make a difference here. Not that the drum sounds themselves are bad, but they just don't quite have that sharpness to them that I think this style really benefits from. Because you have some drum and bass tracks that are really like nice. They have nice, soft, warmy drums. Me and Hayes made a song sort of. Oh, I'm very much looking forward to that. Kunky, yes, your link is broken, so if you can resend that to me, that'd be great. Yeah. I don't know that I have more to say about this, other than like finish it, but I think it's about figuring out what's your priority on this, because right now it feels like none of the things are really in focus and like sharp. They're all kind of sort of gently coexisting with each other, and I think you got to pick, like, is the bass the thing of the track? Are the drums the focus of the track? Is the lead going to be the main thing of the track? because right now they're all sort of suffering in this like middle ground. All right, next up, Milieu by Kelly V. Cool cover. Gonna work on finishing this. Okay, I've never heard that before. God damn. Okay. This is sick. But it's a bit naked. So first of all, I think you've got a cool setup here. This is sick as well. That is like it just got like if I heard that in the club, I'd be like, oh, what the hell? And then it just goes. I don't love the rhythm on this drop though. It's just like a wee bit chaotic. It's like not even chaotic, but it's both chaotic and not quite interesting enough to me. Something about it just feels like it doesn't quite hit the mark. I think all the sound design is just brilliant, but it doesn't quite hit. It doesn't quite land for me, this drop. So I think playing around a little bit and figure out if you can't find a different flow that works more for these sounds. That should be better. And what I was saying earlier regarding this build is it's super nice, but it's missing a bit of the fanfare. I'm missing the crowd cheering. I'm missing the claps building up. I'm missing that, like, you know, even like a stomp kick here would just amplify the feeling that this is like a big sound. And I think you can sort of go for that fantasy of like, this is like a stadium rocker, you know, that this is like, you know, we're in a big room with a lot of people and like, you know, there's just like this tension in the air building and building and building as we get up to this is a big, really nail-biting sound. Yeah. Other than that, like, this is fine as well. Again, also a little bit naked, but if you're gonna finish this, then that's kind of normal. See, this section I already think is like kind of fine. You've got the atmosphere to build up to it. I don't know if you need this and this. But, you know, you're getting that little bit more energy going, and then we drop into... I just feel like the first 20 seconds are a little bit too fillery, all told. I think if you have 10 seconds, like if you have this, and you just have this... This also feels like, you know, really intense and sharp. That's not to say you have to get rid of this. I'm just saying you could, and I don't know how much you'd really be losing. You're just missing that space to build up to this big moment. Like, you know. But overall, really, really good start. I think it's just the rhythm, getting a little bit more effects going, and you'll be in a solid place. Alright, Conky, we need... Your link is broken, so send me a new one. And then next up we... What is this? Don't test me. Alright, let's take a listen to what ASP and Hayes have been cooking up. Okay. Wow, that's sick. Very cool. It's a super interesting track. This definitely doesn't fit into like anything like conventional that I could compare it to. My notes sort of follow this thing. I'm not sure I love the main sub bass sound. Like I love like the wobbliness of his drop. It's super cool. I'm not sure I love the bass sound you guys have picked. It feels a little bit too subtle and distinct in a way that's like it's not quite gelling with the chords. So to me it kind of pokes out a bit. In a way that I'm just not a fan of, but that's not to say it's like super bad. I just don't care for it. And it's something I noticed. The vocal here struggling for its life, so it definitely needs a bit of help to survive. To me, that looks like boosting the mids, because you've got the air of the vocal coming through, but the actual heart of the vocal doesn't really get through the drop. So I think it's extra mids, some amount of saturation after you've boosted the mids, so you get a bit more of a colorful, warmer sound. If you saturate now and then do extra mids, you're kind of gonna end up with a sound that like just distorts the high end, doesn't really give you enough mid range. So I think it's extra mids, then some saturation, and then a bit of just like simple, like, you know, mono band compression to help glue the whole thing together. Maybe you don't need it, but You might not even need it, but I would give it a try just to see how it sounds. When we get to the second break here, this is fine. What did occur to me though is that like this lead is a bit thin. It's kind of got this typical like fragile saw lead sound. So I think 1 or 2 more layers would help reinforce it a bit so it doesn't sound quite so thin. But if you like the way this sounds right now, ignore me. It doesn't matter. It just struck me a little bit that I was like, ooh, it's kind of a bit thin. It's missing a bit of that. Also here, mid-range, it does match the vocal the way it is, but if you change the vocal the way I was suggesting, you're going to end up in a situation where this lead feels really, like thin. Doesn't have enough body compared to the vocal, and you're going to want more. You'd be feeling it more if you had a bit more mid-range. That's at least my impression of it. You may boost the mid-range on this and realize, this sucks. In which case you might want to just add some layers, just subtly, to help boost up and reinforce the sound. But you may also not want to do that again. Like you may say, like, no, it's cool the way it is. And I wrote in my notes, color fills please, ? Just for the second drop, it might be nice to have some more melodic, extremely colorful fills. Or even like extra little melody, like gloopy melody ear candies to help accent this whole drop and differentiate it a little bit in terms of sound from what came before, without distracting you. It should just like add on to what you've already got. Conky, I'm still waiting for another link, but yeah, that's kind of my thoughts right now. I literally don't have any more submissions. That was it. Gloop, yes. Yeah, that makes sense. It was meant to be like an indie rock vocalist, and the mix was so god-awful. I see. I see why that ended up the way it ended up. Yeah, kind of rough. Yeah, it's just got like a lot of breath, and it's the only thing that's making it over. It's the only thing that's really getting through the mix, and so you're just missing like the body of the vocal. And I think you should be able to like cheat it in a sense by just boosting the mids and saturating on that. But also, it might not sound as nice as I'm imagining it will sound. That's just my intuition talking about like, I think this is going to sound good, but I don't know if it's going to sound good. Oh, the Adderall soundtrack, just playing off of my wallpaper. That's kind of it. Now this is the part where we just look at each other and wait for somebody else to tune in and send us a song. Or I go to sleep. That's also an option. I would have more stuff to send, but life's been so busy. Yeah, fair. My life's been insanely busy. I literally only have time to do these streams, and then everything else. I don't make music anymore. Let me dig? Alright, I'll let you dig. In the meantime, maybe Kunky will send me a new link. Then we might have 2 submissions. Otherwise, I'm just gonna enjoy the rest of my Sunday and prepare myself for work. This is a cool sound though. I really like this. I think especially if the vocal hit on this, it would just be like way more emotional. Like if we'd be getting this. You hear how you like just boost like all of that mid and low mid, and all of a sudden the vocal is just like more in your face. Now, obviously, I'm just like boosting on the master, just like a, like a troglodyte here, just like boost generally the mid range. But if you do it with some precision, it's gonna sound nice. Actually, nice. Alright. I'm gonna put a 2-minute timer. If we don't find music by then, we gotta go. Boom. Let's see, is there any other feedback I can give to the tracks we got? I don't know, I just don't find this bass quite exciting enough to justify this like big gap. This I don't know, I don't think the melody's A-B enough quite to make the space feel good, and the bass isn't exciting enough to make it feel good. Okay, I found something, don't even worry. Hell yeah. Alright. Make this the last one of the day then. Fade.wave. I like how soft this clap is, actually. Wow, these filters are so good, what the hell? Oh, I fuck with that heavy. That's really nice. I will say I think the rides and stuff could be a little bit more flavorful. They feel a bit too noisy, like too white noisy, like in the sense that they're just like blurred out, don't have any definition to them to me. But that can also be an appealing sound. It's just I think you can at least layer that with something that has a little bit more of a distinct texture and then something with a bit more intensity. That will just complement everything else that's going on. But for this, it sounds like you really want to lean into that like digital sound. I really, really like this, actually. I think you kind of have one of those ideas that like just don't smother it, don't overproduce it. The drums are so loud, I can definitely switch them out for something more interesting. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to go with everything. Not everything needs to get switched out. I think it's just like spice up the drums, because obviously you've put in something that like works quickly, but spice them up. But this like main set of sounds, don't overproduce them, because they're already really nice. They have like a nice soul to them. it's kind of catchy as well. Like I can hear this in my head after I've stopped playing it. So well done with this. This is super sick. Super sick. The interest in this is not necessarily bad. I think it needs some automation. Some reverb automation, some delay automation, maybe a couple of like ear candy cluster type of sounds just to give you a bit more intrigue. Either that or you go into the Foley direction where you start adding, world sounds, real life sounds that are a bit... Oh, drop my mic. That are a bit more... in a short term, very like ear catching. Like you get that auditory stimulus of like, oh, this is like a certain type of setting. It grabs your attention and sets you in a certain place. All right, I'll continue with this for sure. Hell yeah, that's what we want to hear. And Conky has sent me a thing. Yeah, that works. So we get to end today with Future Bounce. Let's go. Missing a vocal for sure. Wow, love that. What is that sound? Nice. Okay. My thoughts on this is as follows. I think the melody's fine. If a bit complex. It's definitely missing a vocal, which is just, that's how production is. I think your lead sounds have definitely improved from what I've previously heard, but this is still a little bit sort of like harsh on the top end. If I do a little bit of EQ, how it's gonna... Now, what you're going to notice is the way I EQ'd it makes it sound less bright, so it feels initially less loud. Like your perception of it is like, oh, this is less loud. But what you'll notice is that it's focusing then more on the chords, and also more on like the sort of more emotional frequencies of the lead, which ultimately to me, this is like a song that I would feel more emotional about. Versus just like appreciating with my brain. It shifts the whole tone of it a little bit more to be more emotional. I definitely think as well that just like the harmony leads are great, but we do need to like boost the chords a bit, make them a bit more present, because the lead really overshadows the chords dramatically. But yeah, the harmonies are good. They remind me of like old school like Rills tracks from 8 years ago. I think in the breakdown, I love this part. This is probably my single favorite part of the track. It's like this section here coming out of the drop, coming into this like next bit. The only thing that bugs me is this bass line here. The thing is, your bass line is moving just as much as your lead, and you're introducing a new, really complex lead, and the amount of bass movement is very distracting. So the amount of notes that the bass is taking on and doing, combined with the amount of notes that the lead is doing, is too many. So I think you probably want to tame the bass a little bit, make it the bass line a bit simpler, so that the lead can really take the focus and you can appreciate it, because then you've done something cool here with the way that it's got this like sense of flair to it. Oh hi, hello Arnosh. Your room noise on the mic going crazy. Room reverb. Is it bad? I'm sure it is actually. I'm sure it's terrible. Yeah, different room be like. This room is also smaller, so... No, it's fine. Oh, yeah, sure. It's fine, guys. It's fine. No, there's no problems. It's not awful to listen to. Oh, no, you want to send me something? 'Cause otherwise, I'm going to go, like, straight to bed. I'm, like, exhausted. It's Sunday, but I'm sleepy as hell. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say, Conky. It's a cool tune. I think if you just work on the stuff I told you about, you'll again shift it into like a more professional sounding place, because I think you have all the right elements already for a future bounce tune. All right, let's see what our colleagues here is cooking up. Yes, it's time to submit. Ooh. This will wake you up. Hold up. Oh, this is gonna make me wake up. Alright, well, y'all do that. I'm gonna go get some water. I'll be right back. I'm sure standing up is good for me as well. Just like make me feel less sleepy. Doo-doo. Alright. Me when I have no submissions. The Dilly Dalek. Oh my god. Alright, let's take a listen. Michael Instagram guitar type V3 chorus idea and vocal rhythm on verse fixed. Okay. Let's take a listen to Michael Instagram. Ooh. This is a new type of bass. I don't think I've ever heard you use this. Okay, Michael Jackson. This is insane. This part is so crazy. The thing is, you like, with this vocal, you managed to like justify the thumpy kick so much. It's so good now. Because in the beginning, you're kind of like, okay, I guess. Love this. The change in the chords, just like, I really wasn't too hot on this in the beginning. I was like, okay. Because like the guitar is so small and like the bass and the drums are so big. But it works. I do think maybe it's still like you're still working on finding like the balance of like getting the right amount of harmonizing elements in there for like this spot. Not that I hate it the way it is, but like I hear where I could just have like more Zaza, you know, have more intensity compared to at least your other released stuff. Guitar song is just still in the demo state. Yeah, it makes sense. He sounds a little too like tinny for you. It has its own charm as it is, but that's insane, by the way. Great melody. Absolutely insane. Verses are really empty, yeah, but the chorus makes up for it. I'm trying to think who this reminds me of, because the first name that pops into my head is like Justin Timberlake followed by The Weeknd, but neither of those feel quite right. But it has that sort of element of like late 90s, early 2000s production. That's quite sexy. Lamau, yeah bro? Yeah bro in like a I'm right, or yeah bro in like a sure I guess? It's like some Artemis Michael Jackson chorus. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Sent to heaven. Wait, we gotta pitch it up. Yeah. I like it sped up. The extra speed gives this verse already something a little bit more exciting. Oh, and the extra push on that falsetto is just ridiculous. That is absurd. It goes so high. Yeah, be honest. So good. As always, my friend, just absolutely cracked. And now Arnosh has to follow you. For Gore to sidechain the bass and the stems, ignore please. We'll re-record the guitars later. Very early demo. Okay. Metal. It almost sounds like punky to me. Interesting follow-up to that. Nice. This is missing a little bit of something here, though. Oh, there we go. We got it. Yeah, I do wonder if the drums need to change for this previous section. Holy. Well, holy shit, this lead. I kind of love this lead. It's just a little bit too intense for the mix, but mix aside, I think it's a really interesting song. It definitely has the vibe of like some indie game would love this song. Would absolutely kill for this type of song. It's just so weird. Because it's in between a couple of different things. To me, it's in between like a sort of like country westerny vibe and like a punk song, or like I guess like going into like a traditional like rock type of tune. I don't know that I consider this like metal. Like metal is usually a lot more explicitly abrasive, but this does give me like rock vibes. The bass is great here. My biggest piece of feedback is like I think for this section, I think here the drums need to change their rhythm a little bit. It doesn't feel quite right. I agree. Yeah, it just has something to it, right? That like combination of genres is just kind of is where it is in my head. But yeah, I think the drums here need to change a little bit. Here, here it feels like it's fine. Like it kind of gels more with the rhythm of what's going on with the guitars. Here it just feels like it's a little bit, you know, like trying to do a complicated dance move on your fifth beer. You're like, oh, like you're stumbling a little bit. It's just a bit overwhelming, and like not quite congruent to me. So I would suggest just like seeing if there's another drum rhythm that, like, even just like a kick rhythm that like you feel suits this section maybe more. See what options you can come up with. And in the end of the day, if you still like this, then go with it. I just think that maybe there's room for something a little bit different that is a bit more like explicitly suitable. Oh my god, Waka sent us a song. Waka's waking up at like the early morning. Waka's an ID. Ooh. Waka's collab. Nice cover as well. Alright, 2 point. Alright, last one of the day. Bam, let's get it.
Do not fuck with us.
Not what we usually expect. Okay. Okay. Whoa. Crazy lead as well. Yeah. Yeah, that's a 2010 sound.
number 4025, Pocket 6753, information on 70, United 9901, request clearance for Mother.
Nice, good ending too. Man, what a sick tune. Yeah, I think Dalek's right on the money. That has this 2010s sound to it. What a great way to end the stream, super dope. Yes, I agree. Freaking great. Let me look at my notes, because I don't have a lot. It does feel very loud and a bit like overcompressed in a way that I think with a bit more attention to detail, you can maybe make the master feel more modern. But the way this is mastered right now does sort of give across this like sound of the 2010s. So you might want to leave it like this and not touch it, to be honest. I think the other thing is like the build feels like it needs this one a bit more extra detail, a bit of extra ear candy to me. It's just once we're building up to the third drop, you're like, okay, let's make it a bit more special than whatever we had previously, because, you know, at this point now we've done this twice, this cycle of like building, drop, now like third time it's like, hey, make it worth the while, you know, make it even more exciting. And I think it's missing a bit of that. And also the transition out of a second drop. It's not bad, but it doesn't have any bells and whistles. You know, it doesn't have anything like extra special that you can point to and you'd be like, oh, this is like, this transition little sound is great, you know. Even like a special sub drop and like little reverse or like some extra piece of Foley, it's like you don't really have any of that there. And I feel like that would make it better. Personally, if you ask me, I think it would make it better. But take my opinion with a grain of salt. Holy. Sorry, I'm just looking. I feel like I see my fucking watch tan. No, you can't really see it that much. It's fine. Like the watch tan line. Anyway, that's pretty much it. What a banger to end it on. I've had some good songs already. Small pool today, but freaking great. Could totally be a Monster Cut release, etc. If you just give it just the way it sounds right now. Honestly, maybe, yeah. Like, the things I'm talking about are like nitpicks. You know, this is like, this could be a little better, this could be a bit better, but like none of it like took away from the experience. It's just like, there's maybe a bit more room for some extra little something. But there's always room for like extra little bit more something depending on what kind of music you like. Obviously polish it, but the core idea is super dope. I don't even think it needs that much polish. I think if you polish it too much, you're going to lose the sound that we were talking about earlier. If it's like 2010s era style. If anything, it's just like the breaks. Maybe you want a little more precision in there. I think the drop already has the sound that you want to go for. I guess that's it. Right? That's kind of it. What a banger of a stream. Yeah, cheers guys. I gotta go. Oh yeah, my heart out is like in 2 minutes. Great, I gotta go. Thank you guys so much for coming out to send me your music, and I'll see you next week or next weekend. Bye. Love you guys. Bye.